Zuri Johnson wakes before dawn, the city still cloaked in the last traces of night. She stands in front of a cracked bathroom mirror, tying her hair back with her favorite Kenti print scarf, hands moving on muscle memory. The memory of her late mother's voice. Work hard, be proud, echoes softly in her mind. Outside, the streets are already alive with the sounds of the city waking up. Distant horns, the rumble of early buses, the chatter of street vendors setting up. Zuri slips on her steel-toe boots and grabs her hard hat, her fingers tracing the hand-painted African patterns on its brim for luck. Arriving at the bustling downtown construction site, Zuri greets her coworkers with a warm but reserved smile, already scanning the half-built steel framework for signs of trouble. Today, the team is finishing the foundation for what will be the city's tallest building, a symbol of hope for the neighborhood. Zuri's boss hands her a clipboard, but she's already moving, checking safety cables, exchanging quick jokes with friends, all while that determined fire in her eyes never fades. Unbeknownst to her, a new laborer joins the team today, a man with a past and a secret. A cloud of dust rises as a delivery truck backs into the construction lot. Zuri glances over, clipboard in hand, as a tall, broad-shouldered man hops down from the cab. He moves with a subtle authority, though his faded work shirt and jeans blend in with the rest of the crew. His name, David, but everyone just calls him Dave, is quickly scrawled on the sign-in sheet. Zuri notices his unfamiliar face, but is too focused on her checklist to ask questions. Dave keeps to himself at first, offering quiet nods to the other workers. He's strong, moving bags of cement with surprising ease. His movements efficient, practiced, but his eyes, sharp and scanning, catch every detail. The layout of the site, the rhythm of the crew, the laughter and shouts exchanged between the workers. Zuri feels his gaze for a moment, a strange flicker of recognition she quickly dismisses. During break, Dave sits alone on a stack of pallets, rubbing a gold ring beneath his work gloves. Zuri watches from across the lot, curiosity piqued. She wonders about his story, unaware that this new arrival is not only a skilled worker, but the billionaire owner of the company, and the father she lost years ago. As the morning sun climbs higher, Zuri is tasked with inspecting the upper scaffolding, a part of the job she secretly loves for the peace and the city view. She climbs confidently, her boots clanging against the steel. Unexpectedly, she finds Dave already there, securing a loose plank. Their eyes meet, both surprised, but Zuri masks it with a polite nod. Working together, they fall into a silent rhythm. Dave is efficient, anticipating Zuri's needs, handing her the right tools, steadying a beam just as she reaches for it. Zuri is impressed by his skill, rare in new hires. For a brief moment, they both lean on the railing, surveying the city below. The skyline is dotted with cranes and new buildings, a testament to their hard work. Zuri breaks the silence, making a dry joke about rookies on the high beams. Dave smiles, his laughter deep and genuine, warming the distance between them. For a split second, Zuri feels an inexplicable sense of comfort, a kind of belonging. She shrugs it off, focusing back on the job. They don't know it, but this quiet partnership on the scaffold is the first step toward a connection neither could have imagined. Midday brings a grueling heat, and the crew takes turns hauling steel beams to the upper floors. Zuri calls out instructions, her voice confident and clear above the clamor. A minor argument breaks out over safety protocols. One worker wants to take a shortcut. Zuri stands firm, insisting they follow every rule. Dave quietly backs her up, his calm authority silencing the doubters. But then as Zuri is guiding a load, a heavy beam slips from the crane's grip, swinging wildly. Instinctively, Dave grabs Zuri's arm, pulling her back just in time as the beam crashes down where she stood. A heartbeat of silence follows. Zuri's eyes are wide, shocked but grateful. She thanks him, voice unsteady for the first time all day. Dave shrugs it off, saying, "We look out for each other on a job like this." Afterward, word spreads about how the new guy saved the forewoman. For Zuri, it's more than that. It's a reminder of trust and how quickly things can change on site. The near miss leaves both shaken, forging an unspoken bond between them, even as they both try to hide the emotions churning beneath the surface. It's early afternoon, and the city air shimmers with heat as the crew lifts a massive steel beam up the side of the skeletal building. Zuri guides the operation, shouting precise instructions over the radio. sweat running down her brow beneath her decorated hard hat. The crane operator is new and nervous. The beam wobbles precariously above the crew. The tension is thick. Everyone's attention is fixed on Zuri. She's known for her steady nerves in a crisis. Suddenly, a cable snaps with a sharp metallic twang. The beam swings out of control, careening toward Zuri. For a split second, time seems to slow. Zuri turns, eyes wide. But before she can react, Dave lunges across the steel decking and yanks her backwards, both of them tumbling to the gritty floor. The beam crashes down just inches from where she stood, sending up a cloud of dust and a collective gasp from the crew. Lying on her back, heart racing, Zuri looks up at Dave, his face etched with concern and relief. He quickly releases her arm, helping her to her feet. Around them, the crew scrambles to secure the site. Zuri, shaken but unharmed, mutters her thanks. Dave simply nods. That's what we do. We keep each other safe. As dusk settles over the city, the construction crew wraps up for the day. Zuri lingers behind, surveying the progress on the building, her silhouette framed by the glow of the setting sun against glass and steel. The rhythmic pounding of hammers and distant shouts have faded, replaced by a quiet, thoughtful calm. Dave stays behind as well, methodically gathering stray tools and stacking lumber, working with the unhurried care of someone who understands the value of every small task. Noticing Zuri watching him, he offers a rare, gentle smile. They exchange a few words about the building's future, how it will shape the skyline, and the lives of the families who will one day live and work there. Zuri admits she feels a strange sense of pride and responsibility, as if she's building not just for others, but for herself and the community she loves. Dave nods knowingly, looking at her with the kind of pride he can't reveal. The city lights begin to flicker on, painting golden reflections on the half-finished windows. As they leave the site together, there's a new, quiet understanding between them. Two people united by hard work, sacrifice, and the unspoken bond of those who build hope from the ground up. The next morning, the site is alive with new energy. Zuri, clipboard in hand, checks inventory and radios the crew. As she turns a corner near the foreman's trailer, she overhears a heated conversation coming from inside. The site manager is on the phone with someone from the company's headquarters, discussing urgent repairs and unexpected financial backing from a mysterious investor. Zuri pauses, curiosity piqued. Dave appears at her side carrying blueprints. He looks serious, glancing at the trailer, then back at Zuri. Their eyes meet. There's something unspoken in his gaze, a warning or perhaps a plea for discretion. The site manager steps out, surprised to see them together, and quickly changes the subject. Zuri notices how the manager glances nervously at Dave, as if he recognizes more than he's letting on. Later, as the crew gathers for a morning briefing, rumors swirl about big money coming in to save the project, but no one knows the source. Zuri finds herself wondering who would care enough about their work, about this building, and these people. Dave keeps his distance, quietly watching over the crew, the weight of his secrets growing heavier as the day unfolds. Later in the day, Zuri finds herself distracted as she works, replaying the morning's overheard conversation and the manager's nervous glances. She notices Dave working alone in a shadowed corner of the site, reviewing blueprints with an intensity that seems almost personal. Curiosity gets the better of her, and she walks over, making light conversation at first, asking about the drawings, the measurements, the future plans for the building. Dave answers cautiously, but Zuri catches a subtle pride in his voice when he describes how the foundation was reinforced, how safety protocols are tighter than on most sites. There's more behind his words, a depth of knowledge and care that doesn't match the persona of a simple laborer. Zuri gently presses, asking why he joined their crew when he's clearly overqualified. Dave dodges the question, joking about needing a change of pace. But as he rolls up the blueprints, Zuri glimpses the embossed lion crest on his gold signet ring. Their eyes lock for a moment, both of them aware that the mask has slipped, if only for a second. Zuri doesn't push, but her suspicion grows. Dave knows the questions will only get harder to avoid as their connection deepens. That night, Zuri sits at her small kitchen table, the only light coming from her laptop and a flickering lamp. The day's questions gnaw at her. Who is Dave, really? Why did the manager act so strange? Why does someone with Dave's skills keep showing up at critical moments? She sips tea, frustration mingling with curiosity. Driven by instinct, Zuri searches the company's leadership and recent news. She stumbles onto an article about a billionaire philanthropist, David Osei, who disappeared from public view after a family tragedy years ago. The photo stuns her. Dave looks almost exactly like the younger man in the headline, right down to the lion crest ring. Her heart races. Could it be? She recalls the ring's flash in the sunlight, his quiet confidence, his near obsessive commitment to safety. Suddenly, pieces of her own past tumble back. Memories of her father's gentle voice, a lullaby, stories of lions and legacy. Zuri's eyes sting with tears. She isn't certain yet, but the seed of truth has been planted. Before she closes her laptop, she saves the article. She's not ready to confront Dave, but she's closer than ever to unraveling the truth behind the man who saved her life. Sunlight streams through Zuri's window as her alarm blares, but she's already awake. Her mind races with last night's discovery. She can't shake the image of Dave in the old news article. At the site, she's quiet, withdrawn, lost in thought as she walks the perimeter. Her friends notice but don't press her. As Zuri checks the supplies list, Dave approaches, his usual calm presence shadowed by concern. He asks if she's all right. Zuri hesitates, then gives a guarded, "Just tired." Dave lingers, wanting to say more but chooses silence. Their conversation is tense, filled with unspoken words. During the crew's morning huddle, the manager announces that today, the company's mysterious investor will visit. Everyone speculates, excitement and anxiety rippling through the workers. Zuri steals a glance at Dave, catching a rare flash of nerves in his eyes. She wonders if he'll finally reveal his secret, or if he'll keep hiding behind his laborer's mask. As the huddle ends, Dave quietly reminds Zuri to always trust your instincts. The words hang in the air, heavy with double meaning. Zuri realizes that whatever happens today could change everything, on the job and in her heart. The morning buzz on site reaches a new pitch as a convoy of sleek black cars pulls up to the gates. Everyone pauses, watching in anticipation as well-dressed assistants and security step out, scanning the lot. Zuri stands with her crew, feeling the tension in the air. Dave keeps his distance, blending in with the workers, but his eyes never leave the arriving cars. A tall woman in a crisp suit exits one of the vehicles. She introduces herself as Ms. Freeman, head of the investment group backing the project. Her smile is polished, but her gaze is sharp, sweeping across the assembled crew with practiced appraisal. She explains the investor is here to see the progress firsthand and will be touring the site. Zuri is chosen to lead the tour, thanks to her expertise and the respect she commands among the workers. She hides her nerves, quickly pulling together her notes and double-checking her gear. Dave lingers in the background, quietly observing, tension clear in the set of his shoulders. As the group moves through the unfinished building, Zuri senses the investor's eyes lingering on her. She wonders if this visit is about more than just construction, if secrets are closer to the surface than ever before. Zuri leads Ms. Freeman and her entourage through the sprawling construction site, weaving between half-built walls and scaffolding. She narrates with confidence, describing the technical details, safety improvements, and the challenges the crew has overcome. The workers watch from a respectful distance, pride and nerves mixing in their glances. Ms. Freeman is attentive, occasionally jotting notes, but her eyes linger on Zuri. She asks pointed questions, not just about the building, but about Zuri's background, her leadership, and the team's morale. Zuri answers honestly, crediting her crew in their shared vision for the project's progress. As they round a corner, Dave quietly joins the group, staying just out of the spotlight. He listens intently, pride flickering across his face as Zuri holds her own. Ms. Freeman notices him and pauses, introducing herself to Dave with a knowing smile. For a moment, their handshake lingers, an unspoken recognition passing between them. The tour winds upward, with the city skyline unfolding in the distance. Zuri's nerves begin to fade, replaced by resolve. She realizes this moment is about more than just a building. It's about legacy, trust, and the unseen bonds that hold people together, even when truths remain hidden. The group pauses at a precarious section of the site, a skeletal floor with exposed beams and unfinished railings, the city skyline stretching beyond. Ms. Freeman asks pointedly about an incident she read in the safety log. a near miss with a falling beam. The air goes tense. Workers glance at each other, uncertain if they should speak up. Zuri steps forward, owning the incident. She explains how Dave's quick thinking prevented disaster, how their team pulled together to fix the problem and review safety protocols. Ms. Freeman studies her for a long moment, then turns to Dave, asking how he knew exactly what to do. Dave hesitates, eyes flickering to Zuri, then offers a humble answer about experience and looking out for the crew. Ms. Freeman's expression is unreadable, but she nods in approval, commending the team's transparency and resilience. The rest of the group relaxes, pride swelling among the workers. Zuri and Dave exchange a quiet look, gratitude and trust growing between them. As the tour moves on, Ms. Freeman lingers, jotting a note in her leather-bound journal. For a brief moment, Zuri wonders what she wrote, and if this meeting will change the course of their lives and the fate of the building they're fighting to complete. After the tense encounter with Ms. Freeman, the group disperses. The workers return to their duties, the hum of drills and hammering slowly filling the air again. Zuri steps away from the group, needing a moment alone. She stands at the edge of the floor, gazing out over the city. The wind tugs at her scarf, and she lets herself breathe deeply, her nerves finally settling. Dave quietly joins her, hands in his pockets. For a while, neither of them speaks. They simply watch the city pulse below, united in their exhaustion and relief. Zuri finally breaks the silence, thanking Dave for his support and honesty. Dave smiles, telling her she's earned the respect of everyone on site, including him. As the sun dips lower, casting golden light across the steel skeleton, Zuri glances at Dave's ring, her curiosity returning. She almost asks about it but holds back, unsure if she's ready for the answer. For now, the comfort of shared silence is enough. They return to work, side by side, a sense of hope restored. Whatever secrets remain, Zuri knows she's not facing them alone anymore. After work, Zuri returns home, her mind replaying every moment of the day, the questions, the praise, the unspoken tension. She sets her hard hat on the table and sits by her window, looking out at the city skyline she helps build. The sky is streaked with fading gold and deepening blue. Zuri's phone buzzes with messages from friends and coworkers, but she's too restless to reply. She turns on the old radio, letting soft music fill the apartment. Her fingers trace the beads of her mother's bracelet, a grounding reminder of where she comes from. Thoughts of Dave intrude, his ring, his careful guidance, the rare moments he lets his guard down. Zuri searches her heart for answers. Is he just a mentor or something more? And if he is, what then? Unable to sleep, Zuri spreads out papers and blueprints on the floor, reviewing tomorrow's plans by lamplight. The quiet brings clarity. She wants the truth, not just for herself, but for the legacy she's building. As midnight approaches, she makes a decision. Tomorrow, she'll find the courage to ask Dave the question she's held back for so long. Tonight, she allows herself a moment of hope. The next morning, Zuri is first on site. The air is crisp and cool, and the site is quiet except for the distant clang of a lone hammer. She waits near the scaffolding, clutching her mother's bracelet for courage. As the sun climbs, Dave arrives, surprised to see her so early. Zuri doesn't hesitate. I need to ask you something, Dave, and I need you to be honest. He pauses, sensing the gravity in her voice. For a moment, the sounds of the city fade away. She holds up her phone, showing the photo of David Osei, the billionaire philanthropist who vanished years ago. Is this you? Her voice trembles, but she doesn't break eye contact. Dave looks at the phone, his face a storm of emotion. Surprise, regret, relief. He sighs deeply, running a hand over his beard. Yes, Zuri, that's me. His voice is quiet but unwavering. Zuri's world tilts. She wants to ask 100 questions, but all she can manage is, why did you hide? Dave steps closer, his eyes full of pain and hope. I was searching for a way to make things right. I never meant to leave you behind. The truth is finally out, and neither of their lives will be the same. Zuri and Dave sit together on a stack of lumber, the early morning quiet around them. The air is heavy with words unsaid. For the first time, Dave calls her by her real name. Zuri, I owe you the truth. He tells her about the accident that tore their family apart, about the guilt that drove him into hiding, and how he watched her grow from afar, too afraid to reach out. Zuri listens, her heart aching. Tears slip down her cheeks, but she doesn't turn away. She asks the questions she's held onto for years. Why did he leave? Why now? Dave answers honestly. He lost himself in grief and work, hoping to build something worthy of forgiveness. He never expected to find Zuri leading the very project he came to save. They talk as the sun rises, voices trembling but strong. Zuri's anger softens as she sees her father, not the billionaire, but the man beneath the pain. For the first time, she allows herself to hope they can rebuild what was lost. As the crew begins to arrive, Zuri and Dave sit quietly side by side. The road ahead is uncertain, but the walls between them have finally started to come down. As the sun climbs higher, the construction site stirs with new life. News of Zuri and Dave's connection spreads quickly among the crew, sparked by a few who glimpsed their emotional conversation. Some workers exchange knowing looks. Others whisper in small groups, surprised that the quiet, skilled laborer is the project's mysterious benefactor and Zuri's long-lost father. At first, Zuri feels exposed, nervous about what people will think. But one by one, her colleagues approach, not with judgment, but with warmth and congratulations. A trusted friend claps her on the back and says, "You're still the best forewoman we've ever had." Dave gets similar support. A handshake here, a pat on the shoulder there, each gesture breaking down barriers. Ms. Freeman calls a short meeting, addressing the rumors with tact. She praises both Zuri and Dave, emphasizing the power of second chances and the strength of honest leadership. The crew erupts into applause, their respect for Zuri and Dave now deeper than ever. In that moment, Zuri stands taller. With her father by her side, she feels truly seen and accepted for the first time. The work continues, but the atmosphere is transformed, more united, more hopeful, and more like family than ever before. Weeks pass and the construction project nears completion. Zuri and Dave work side by side every day, their bond growing stronger through laughter, problem solving, and shared dreams. The crew moves with renewed purpose, the memory of the past replaced by hope for the future. Together, Zuri and Dave oversee the installation of the building's final structural beam. As the team hoists it into place, Zuri leads the tradition of signing the beam, a moment of pride for everyone. She hands Dave the marker. He hesitates, then writes both their names side by side in bold strokes. The workers erupt into cheers, and even Ms. Freeman joins the celebration, her usual formality softening into genuine warmth. Afterwards, Zuri and Dave stand on the rooftop, gazing out at the city their family helped shape. The wind carries the sounds of the crew celebrating below, and Dave puts a proud arm around his daughter. "You did this," he says quietly, tears in his eyes. Zuri smiles, feeling the truth of his words and the legacy they're building together. The pain of the past hasn't disappeared, but it's been transformed into forgiveness, pride, and a future full of possibility. As the building nears its grand opening, Zuri and Dave take a quiet moment to walk through the now complete halls. Sunlight pours through towering windows, illuminating fresh paint and polished floors. The walls echo with the sounds of laughter and footsteps as the crew puts finishing touches on every detail. They pause at a special plaque in the lobby, engraved with the names of the workers and a dedication to the builders who believe in second chances and the power of family. Zuri traces her name, and Dave's etched side by side. For a moment, they are silent, overcome by the journey that brought them here. Dave admits that he never thought he'd see this day. This building, it's more than stone and steel. It's a promise that what's broken can be rebuilt, stronger than before. Zuri squeezes his hand, grateful for the new beginning they've created together. The doors swing open and the first visitors enter, neighbors, families, and city officials, admiring the beauty and significance of the project. Cameras flash, and Zuri is swept into interviews and congratulations. But in her heart, the real victory is this: her father by her side, and a legacy built on love, forgiveness, and hope.